Hello my friends, this is Sonam Singh and today in this video I'll be talking about the CTET examination, that is Central Teacher Eligibility Test. I'll talk how this exam is useful to you if you're starting your career in teaching field. I'll share my experience with the exam and also share my strategy of how I cracked this exam, and that too in my very first attempt. Keep watching. So the CTET exam is conducted by the CBSE and I think all of us know that. And candidates who would clear CTET examination will become eligible to appear for the teacher recruitment process for classes 1st to 8th. Okay, it can be maybe in the government schools or maybe in the non-government schools like the private or international schools out there. They are also having this CTET exam as a compulsion if you want to be a teacher there. Now, the first step towards the CTET preparation is being fully aware of the exam pattern and the syllabus. In order to crack the CTET exam, candidates need to build a concrete preparation strategy. Have a look at some of the essential tips. Now, talking about this exam, basically CTET is being conducted in two categories, that is paper 1 and paper 2. Okay. So paper 1 is for those who wants to become teacher of classes 1st to 5th, whereas paper 2 is for those who wants to become teacher of classes 6th to 8th. Okay, I'll talk about the subjects in my later slides. Then the duration of the exam is always 2 hours 30 minutes and it is conducted offline, that is it is still conducted on the OMR sheet, so you have to choose the correct option and then mark it by encircling it. It's the same process that is being going on since years now. Now, the question here is, can you appear for paper 1 and 2 both? Yes, of course. Because there are teachers who want to clear this examination like for paper 1 also and for paper 2 also, then you can appear for both the papers. But again, the paper duration will be 2 hours 30 minutes each. So there will be break between both the papers. Like paper 1 generally happens in the morning for 2 hours 30 minutes, maybe starting from 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and then after 2 hours 30 minutes there is a gap of 1 hour or half an hour in between. Then paper 2 is conducted at various centers all over India. Then we'll talk about what exactly is there in the examination question paper. So it consists of 150 questions, 1 mark each, and there is no negative marking. And the questions are, of course I discussed it earlier also, it is in the form of MCQ, and you have to tick mark the right answer on your OMR sheet, right? And the passing percentage of this exam is like, if you are in general category, then you have to score at least 90 out of 150, that is 60 percentage is the minimum qualifying passing percentage for the general category people. If you are like SC, ST or OBC, then it may vary, and of course it will be less than this only. Then if you talk about the official website, it is the www.ctet.nic.in. So if you want more information about it, you can just log into this website and you will get it there. Then talking about paper 1 in detail, we have in general 5 subjects for paper 1. I'll talk which one is optional and which one is compulsory. So the CDP or Child Development Pedagogy consists of number of 30 questions, and again, since I told you already that it is for 1 mark each, right? So it will be 30 questions for 30 marks, right? Then we have language 1. It can be either English for you if you have chosen it in the paper like application form, or it can be Hindi for you. Anyone can be your language 1. In the language 2, again, it can be English for you if your language 1 was Hindi. It can be Hindi for you if your language 1 was English. It can never be the same. Like for example, if you say that can my language 1 be English and language 2 be also English? No, that will not happen. Okay. So also there are other languages also. For the optional languages, you can check the application form which you filled for the CTET. Okay, then we have mathematics and environmental studies for those who want to become science teacher. Okay, So this is for, since we know this is for classes 1st to 5th. So you need, I'll talk about what all books you need to refer to in order to clear this examination. Okay, so overall every section is of 30 marks each, and overall the paper is of 150 marks. Again, the time duration we talk is 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay, now we see again, similarly we have paper 2. In this also the common paper is CDP, again Child Development Pedagogy. So friends, it is generally the same CDP which we have read in B.Ed exam, right? Or you can say during the B.Ed course. This was very common. So I think all of you should be well versed with this. I'll also talk, if not you are well versed with it, then how you can crack this examination even though you have no idea about this book. Okay, then we have again similar to paper 1, we have language 1 and language 2 here. It can be English, Hindi or any other language which you opted for. Then if you are appearing for science teacher examination, then your optional subjects will be maths and science. 30 marks each, 30 marks for mathematics and 30 marks for science. Total 60. But if you are going for social science teaching post, then it will be total of 60 marks paper totally from the social science book. Okay, and this again we know that this is for classes 6th to 8th. So if you want to become a teacher for class 6 to 8, then you need to check these options. Then again every section, since we discussed, is of 30 marks apart from the optional subject that is for 60 marks. Again the total makes up it as 150 marks in total. Okay, 150 marks, 150 questions. I hope that's clear. Then moving on, what was my strategy? So this is my strategy which I'm going to discuss it. So here the first and the foremost and the most important thing which you just can't skip is the CDP. Child Development and Pedagogy is the subject that is common in every section, friends, every section. Not only the CDP section which is there, but also your language, if it is English, if it is Hindi for second language, and if it is maths and science. For your kind information, I appeared for maths and science. I am a science teacher by profession. Yeah, so this is in all these sections what will happen. So some part, not only this will be 100% CDP, right, since the name suggests. Now in English also 15 marks or 50% will be CDP related questions, that is language CDP. Then in Hindi also again 15 marks will be reserved for the CDP part. In maths and science 10 marks from maths and 10 marks from science will be from CDP only. So you see how CDP is important for you, because you cannot just skip CDP and expect that you will clear this examination. Okay, so this was the first thing which I followed. So now talking about the sources. So if you are not a person who will just mug up the books and you think you are not able to crack it by mugging up the books, then what you can do is, for better understanding, I cracked this examination in 1 month only. So I had very less time. So I opted for watching some YouTube videos, and for YouTube videos I followed Let's Learn. For CDP I'm talking about. I think today in this YouTube world for CDP the best YouTube channel is Let's Learn, and I'm not promoting it. It is my personal experience. I cleared this examination with good marks, and it is due to the CDP course that is there in the Let's Learn. I followed each and every video there. So there is a playlist known as CDP course, which consists of almost I think 40 to 42 videos. So if you watch those videos, if you follow those 40 to 40 videos, it will be the most helpful thing you can do for your CTET to be clear. Okay, so this is about the CTET. Okay, so this is about the CTET. Don't go for any other book for CDP, and that's my personal experience which I'm talking about. Then we have how you can crack subject wise the other sections, right? So since I appeared for the science exam, I'll guide you for the science exam that, and even for the other subjects like SST also, you can go for NCRT. Friends, NCRT is like 100% to be leaned upon. It is 100% sure that you will definitely crack this exam if you follow CDP by the same method which I told you, and NCRT. So what in NCRT you have to do is just go through the summary part. Since we know it's very boring to just read the chapters fully, and we don't have that much time that we can invest in for just reading NCRT. And if you're already there in the teaching field, of course, it will be quite boring for you to read it again and again. So just for you to revise it, just go through the summary part of every chapter. Okay, every chapter. If you're talking about maths, then just go through the summary. And if you have time, I always suggest for you to just go through, just read it, just to give it a read to every chapter. Okay, and also for the science, same thing, you can read the summary. In this way, friends, you will be able to revise it quickly, and also you will be revising not just the conceptual things, but in summary it takes a little bit of less time than reading the whole chapter, right? So this is it about the NCRT. Now, with this, can you crop this examination with this? No, I think all these three things make the three pillars of my strategy, and which I followed for cracking the CTET in 1 month. Yes, I didn't mention the time which I took to clear this, so it was just 1 month. I appeared for the January exam, that was in 2021. So I think it's June now, and it's been 5 months. So I think I'm making this video a little bit late. Never mind. So previous year questions being the third pillar and the most important pillar of my strategy, which I followed. So previous year question, I preferred Arihant's book, though it is not that perfect. But you can also get the previous year questions online also if you don't want to spend any penny on any book, purchasing any book or so. So, or you can go for the PDF version of the Arihant that is also available. So by previous year question, what I mean is you need to invest your time in previous year question. Why? Because without practice, you will not be able to clear this exam, that's for sure. Moving on, now what are the do's and don'ts of this exam, which is the most important part of my this video. So friends, in this I have again given importance to the previous year questions, and then so at least two previous year questions you have to do it per day. NCRT I discussed, it needs to be done properly. Just go through it, go through the chapters, go through the summary maybe, just for your revision. Because I think all of you are well versed with your own subject, right? So you just need to revise it so that you don't skip any topic, because questions are definitely asked from the NCRT also. Then we have the notes part. Okay, so I think I think some part or some percentage of people only have this habit of making revision notes. But I believe making revision note not only makes it easier for you to revise, but also it gives you a mind map of what all topics need to be covered and what all you have read till date. Okay, so it helps you in revising things, not only just revising things, but it gives you an idea of how much, and I mean how you are going with your preparation, right? So this again becomes a important part. So what I did is I took a A4 size sheet, and I used to make some pie charts, some graphs over it, some hierarchies over it, and it helped me like in shortening the length of my notes, and which helped me a lot in revising it later on. Then also while attempting the question papers, always read it twice. Read it twice. Why I'm saying this? There are questions that people read it, they do not read it properly, and they attempt it wrongly. That's why they don't get marks, because there are people out there who just fail by just 1 or 2 marks. Okay, so this is happening all around. So read the question twice at least, because you just need to clear it. See, if you are general category, you just need to get 2090 marks, and that's not a big target. So since you have to ask 30 minutes, so can't you attempt just 90 questions in that? Of course you can. So prepare for at least scoring 120 at the least. because otherwise if it of course there is no negative marking, but if you're not preparing for at least 120, then I think it will be quite difficult. If you aim for 90, then you may be lagging behind by 1 or 2 marks again. So that is the thing which I kept in mind. Now focus more on CDP. I think CDP is the most important thing which you just can't skip. If you are thinking that you will skip the CDP and you'll still clear it, I think that's never going to happen. Okay, so don't skip any question. Don't practice previous year questions without timer. So timer again plays a important role, since this is a paper where you will, after preparing well, you will have answers for all the questions. Okay, but you need to do it with timer. You need to practice with timer. Otherwise, you'll just leave many questions there. If you are a slow person like me who just reads the question twice and then attempts it, I think attempting all the questions is of course important, but like for example, within 2 hours 10 minutes you completed your say 120 questions. Okay, say for example you attempted 120 questions in 2 hours 20 minutes. Now you have still how much minutes? You may be having 15 to 20 minutes left with you, right? So in those 20 minutes, whatever questions you are left with, like say you have 30 questions left, don't waste your time in like attempting these questions. That this is the smart trick which I followed. I attempted the math section in the end, so I was left with 20 questions there, not 30, 20 questions. So what I did is I just randomly answered it. That was the trick I followed, because I knew that maths would consume a lot of my time and I was very slow about attempting it. So I just ticked marked it, and I just ticked the, like for example I ticked one option for all the questions, like I ticked A part for all the sections. This is the trick which I followed. This may sound very funny to you, but it surely works. It is my experience. So what will happen is, since there is no negative marking, at least out of 20, at least you will have 7 or 8 correct options, right? And this you can only do for the last if you don't have time and if you are left with few questions there. Don't do it for the whole question paper, otherwise you'll again lose. So yes, friends, this was my strategy. I hope you listened to it properly, and I hope you like it. And if you crack this exam by using some of the points which I discussed, do come back, mention it in the comment box. That will be very proud moment for me, that due to me or my maybe some due to my some tips you cleared it. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, everyone.